Now this is the second problem. Let's start with this. An unsymmetrical I-section beam is used to support an imposed load of 2 kN per meter over a span of 8 meter. The sectional details are top flange 300 mm wide and 60 mm thick, bottom flange 100 mm wide and 60 mm thick. Thickness of the web is 80 mm. Overall depth of the beam is 400 mm. At the quarter of the span, the effective pre-stressing force of 100 kN is located at 50 mm from the soffit of the beam. Estimate the stresses at the quarter of span section of the beam for the following load conditions. Under that, the first case what they have given is pre-stress plus self-weight, that comes under transfer condition. The second one is pre-stress plus self-weight plus live load will give you working conditions. So always remember whatever data they have given, you should use that, and using that you should draw I section. But they would have not given any diagram, so be careful while choosing the data and while writing it. So the first point is imposed load. Imposed load in the sense it's a live load. So I have written WQ equal to LL, that is live load, equal to 2 kN per meter. It's a simply supported beam carrying a UDL, having a span of 8 meter. Next, they are talking about the I section. The top flange width is 300 mm. You can see here 300, and depth of this flange is 60 mm. Then web is 80 mm. Then the bottom flange is 60 mm thickness, and width is 100 mm. Whatever I have written this 280, they have not given. We should calculate by ourselves. I guess yes. How did we calculate that 280 is? They have clearly mentioned overall depth of the beam is 400 mm. So the full depth of the I section is 400. 400 minus 60 minus 60, that is 400 minus 120 will give you, this portion is called as a web. Web height is 280 mm and width of the web is 80 mm. And you can clearly see that it's not a symmetrical section, it's a unsymmetrical section, but it is symmetrical about y-axis. That means if you fold this, I'm taking this portion, if you fold it towards left side, this two will be overlapping here, these two will be overlapping, and it will be a exact half. So it is symmetrical about y-axis. But when you fold this portion to the bottom, assume it, we are folding like that, it is not symmetrical about x-axis. That means whatever value are there here, this won't be same here, so it is not symmetrical about x-axis. So the conclusion is it is a unsymmetrical section. So that portion is over. So let's start with the calculation. What is this calculation is all about is, see, always remember when it is a symmetrical section, for I section always neutral axis will be exactly at the center or overall depth by 2. Here overall depth is 400, but it is not a symmetrical section. So we should find out where this neutral axis is lying. To calculate that, we have a formula. So I have clearly written here, you can see location of x axis or neutral axis by using this formula y bar equal to sigma a y by capital A. There is a difference between this and this, that is, this is summation of all the areas along with the y value of each element for the numerator, and for the denominator you need to add the value of all the elements area. So you can see here, this is a first element, first rectangular element, this is second element, and this is a third element. So we will start the calculation like that. Before that, I want to explain few more things. Here in the question they have asked at the quarter of the span. Always quarter of the span means L by 4 or 1 by 4. Okay. So here 8 by 8 is a total length. So 8 by 4 will be how much? It's a 2 meter. They are asking at 2 meter span the effective pre-stressing force of 100 kilonewton is located at 250 mm from the soffit of the beam. Estimate the stresses at the quarter of the span section of the beam for the following load conditions. They are asking to find out the stresses at quarter of the span section. Stresses means stresses at the quarter of the span in the sense what? I had just told you it is nothing but 8 by 4. At that distance we should find out how much stresses means we should find out F superior and F inferior value, and we will come back to this. They are telling the effective pre-stressing force of 100 kilonewton is located at 50 mm from the soffit of the beam. So see here, 50 mm soffit means I had already told it's a from bottom. So from the bottom at the distance of, this is a tendon, whatever this round circle shape I have written, this is nothing but a tendon. Tendon is located from the bottom of the beam at the distance of 50 mm. It is located like that at a distance of 50 mm from the bottom. Okay. Tendon is like this, and this tendon is having a pre-stress force value of 100 kilonewton. So for this condition, what will be the F superior, F inferior, and other two conditions they have given at transfer condition, at working condition, we should find out that. Now let's come back here. So the calculation is like this: sigma A y means A is area of the first element, that is 300 into 60 over. Then y is 370. How did we get this 370 is, please check the note here. I have written the calculation. So let's start the calculation from the bottom. Y is nothing but centroid of this element. Okay. So from the bottom, what is the centroid of this element is 60. Here what I have written, that is 60 height, this height, plus 280 this web height, plus 60 by 2 is, this 60 by 2 will give you 370. From this the centroid of this element is located at 370 from the bottom of the beam. Like that we'll go for the second element, that is web. The area of the web is 80 into 280 into 200. For that 200, this is a height 60 plus 280 by 2 will give you 200. Total height of the web is 280. Exactly by 2 will give you 200. Then comes the last element. So area of the last element is 60 into 100. I have written 60 is the total depth by 2 will give you 30. So y bar is 243.96 mm. That is, you should be careful. This value, y bar value, is calculated from the bottom. From the bottom, the neutral axis is at a distance of 243.96 mm. So I have clearly mentioned YB, that stands for bottom portion. Okay. So the overall depth we know, that is how much? 400 minus 243.96 mm will give you 156.04 mm. So that notation is YT. That is um, um, what is this? This neutral axis is at a distance of 156.04 mm from the top. Okay. The next is eccentricity of the cable. Eccentricity of the cable is, we know, from here to here, that is the distance between neutral axis and the bottom is 243.96. That minus 50 will give you this height. The distance 193.96 mm is nothing but distance between neutral axis and exactly the center of the cable. This height is nothing but eccentricity. That portion is called as E value. That is a E value. So that is a eccentricity, that is 193. The distance between neutral axis and the center of the centroid tendon is 193.96 mm. Next is area calculation. We know that this element area plus this will give you the value of area. Next is how much is INA? Why do we need this INA? That is moment of inertia due to neutral axis. Why do we need this? For the calculation of section modulus, that is ZT and ZB, we need this INA value. For that we have a value formula as IXX plus AH square. So IXX stands for BD cube by BD cube by 12 is moment of inertia of the element. Here the first element is, see the values here. For the first element I have taken it as C1. For the second element I have taken it as C2. For the third element I have considered it as C3. So for C1, for the first element, the moment of inertia for this rectangle section is BD cube by 12, that is B is width 300, depth is 60 cube by 12 plus what is the area? 300 into 60 into h square. This h square is h value is very important. So check these values whichever I have highlighted in blue color. That is see here, from the top to the neutral axis YT value is 156.04. This first elements comes within that. So we have calculated like this: 156.04 minus 30 or 60 by 2. This depth of the element is 60 by 2. This portion is gone. So distance between centroid of this element to the neutral axis is this much. So for the first element it is over. So the next element is the web. So in the web, what is the width value? It is 80. What is the depth? It is 280 cube by 12 plus area 80 into 280 into centroid of the second element is, see, I have clearly written 243.96 minus 280 by 2 plus 60. First of all, check this value from the bottom to the neutral axis. The value is 243.96. So, whatever 243.96 you can see here, that value is from this point up to here. Okay, that minus 280 by 2. 280 is depth of the web. So total depth of the web is 280 by 2 plus 60. Plus 60 is nothing but this value. We are calculating from the, we are going from the bottom, not from the top. So it is this complete value minus 280 by 2 plus 60. This value will give you the distance between centroid of this element and the neutral axis. Like that, the third element calculation is 243.96 minus 30. 243 is, as I told, it's a distance between neutral axis and the soffit of the beam. So 243.96 minus this value, the depth is 60. So 60 by 2 will give you this value. Therefore INA is this much. The next comes ZT and ZB calculations. I have already told in the previous problem that as the neutral axis is not exactly at the center, ZT and ZB value will be different. ZT is Ix by Yt and ZB is Ix by Yb. So if we solve this, we already know Yt, Yb value and all we know. So if we solve this, we will get Zt and Zb value. This Ix is nothing but INNA value, just notation has been changed. Next, dead load of the beam. We know that for dead load of the beam is calculated by area into density. Density of the concrete is 24 kilonewton per meter cube. Area we had got in mm, so convert this into meter. So we will get Wg or dead load of the beam is 1.11 kilonewton per meter. The next comes the moment due to dead load. Moment calculation due to dead load exactly at the quarter span. In the question itself they have asked, quarter means it is at the 2 meter distance. What is the moment due to dead load we should find out. So for that we should find out what is the support reactions present here. So for the support, for a simply supported beam carrying a UDL, the support reactions formula is WL by 2. So WL by 2 will give you 4.44 into 2 is this, like I have taken a section on this beam, so it is rotating in a clockwise direction. So 4.44 into 2 minus means here we have 1.11, it is rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. This is a UDL, no, this UDL value is 1.11, so it is rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. So minus 1.11 into this length is 2 into 2 by 2 will give you mg as 6.66 kilonewton meter. Like that, the next one is MQ at quarter span. Again, it's a same thing, but for the quarter span, you should be careful with the W values here. Here, for the dead load, W value is 1.11. For the live load, Here it is how much they have given the live load as 2 meter, sorry, 2 kg per meter. So if we substitute 2 into length by 2, we will get 8. That is 2 into length is 8, by 2 we will get 8 kilonewton. So 8 into 2 minus this UDL is rotating in an anti-clockwise direction. So minus 2 into 2 into 2 by 2. MQ is 12 kilonewton meter. That is moment due to live load. The next calculation is pre-stress. I have already given these formulas. Like we can write the direct formulas like this: F superior equal to this much, F inferior equal to this much. But for your understanding, I have written it separately. Direct stress, always it will be positive. So plus P by A will give you 2.16 Newton per mm square. Next one is bending stress due to pre-stress force. We know E value, we know P value. So here it's a combination of ZT ones and ZB ones. So we should find out both the values. We have F superior, F inferior. So for the bottom, for the top, both we should calculate. So here we are taking up with the top one. So value is minus 4 Newton per mm square. Here we are taking for a what bottom. Here why for the bottom it is positive, why it is negative here is at the top it is tension. So at the bottom it is compression. So it is plus here, it is negative here. So the value is 6.25 Newton per mm square. The next one is bending stress due to dead load. Bending stress due to dead load, mg I have written both for the top and bottom I should calculate. So by zt we will get 1.37 Newton per mm square. By ZB again it's a negative value. Please be careful with these sign conventions. This is important. So it is minus mg by ZB will give you minus 2.14 Newton per mm square. Bending stress due to live load. See the notation for live load I am using Q, and at the top it is ZT. So for that it's plus 2.47 Newton per mm square. The next one is bending stress due to live load. MQ by ZB, that will be minus 3.87 Newton per mm square. So I have calculated everything separately and I have kept. So the let's start with the first case. In the first case they have clearly given it's a transfer condition. Always keep it in mind. For transfer condition, live load won't be there. It is only pre-stressing force and the dead load. So the first, for the stresses at the top we have taken F superior equal to plus P by A, that is direct stress, minus the pre-stressing force at the top. So minus PE by ZT plus the dead load, bending stress due to dead load, that is MQ by mg by ZT. Substitute like whatever values we have written here with the signs. Just be thorough with that and come and substitute here. You will get minus 0.47 Newton per mm square for F superior. And for the bottom it is F inferior. Again signs will change, and like that even ZB will change. We have calculated those things here, so no need to worry. So substitute this formula and the value we will get minus 6.27 Newton per mm square. So for this, according to these values, we should write a diagram here for the resultant stresses here. The first diagram stands for bending stress. Let us check what is the value of bending stress. It is 2.16 Newton per mm square. So I have not mentioned the units. So directly I have written 2.16. It's a rectangular variation with positive value. The next one is the bending stress due to pre-stress force at the top. Here, what is the value? -4. So, at the top it is minus. Minus means here the tension will be there. So, I have written that. So, you should check for the bottom also. For the bottom, it is plus 6.25 Newton per mm square. So, for bottom, it is positive of this value. The next one is mq by zt. Mg by zt. Bending stress due to dead load is plus 1.37. Bending stress due to dead load is minus 2.14. So, positive value here, negative value here I have written. So, be careful while writing the signs and while taking the values. When we add all these three, we will get the here for the top layer we will get it as a negative sign. So F superior is 0.47 minus 0.47 F superior, and for the F inferior we had got the value as minus 6.27. So there is something wrong here, one second. See here earlier while making the video I had made a mistake that I had written minus 6.27, but the answer is plus 6.27. So here whatever resultant stress distribution I have written, it's correct. For the top it is minus 0.47. For the bottom it's plus 6.27. So these are the variations for the first case, that is transfer condition. Here live load won't be there. So let's go to the second condition. So the second condition is at the working condition. So at working condition, pre-stressing force will be there, dead load and the live load will be there. So I have written all the four terms with respect to their signs and I have substituted those values whatever we have calculated here according to their signs and value. Here I have just written it, and be careful here I'm first solving for a top layer. Okay, so at the top it is F superior and these are the signs, and we should use ZT for the top layer. So if I add all the values for F superior for the top layer, I will get 2 Newton per mm square. Like that, stress at the bottom, the notation is F inferior. You can see the changes in the signs. So I think again I had made a mistake here. It is not plus, it is minus. So it is minus mg by zb. So here whatever value I have substituted, it is correct. Again it is negative here. Okay, now the equation is proper. So I have just added the values. I have taken all the four values and I have substituted here. It is 2.4 Newton per mm square. So like that I have just written the variation separately. This is for a direct stress. You just compare the direct stress value here, that is standard value for the direct stress is how much? P by A. So P by A, we will get a positive value both on in the top and at the bottom. It is same, it is plus 2.16, so it will be a rectangular variation. The next one is this value, that is P by ZT and ZB. For the top layer we had got -4, so I have written for minus, I have written the variation towards left, and the value is 4, that is over, and at the bottom it is plus, so here I have written plus 6.25. The next one is mg by zt, mg by zb. So the mg by zt is plus 1.37, so plus will come this side, so plus 1.37. Bottom it is minus 2.14. The last one is plus m cube by zt for top, for bottom it is minus m cube by zb. Plus 2.47 I have written, minus 3.28 I have written sign here, value here. If we add all these values, what is the values we are getting for the top and for the bottom layer? For the top it is positive and value is 2 Newton per mm square, and for the bottom again it's a positive value, but you should observe the values there. It is more than, this is more than the top layer value. The bottom layer is 2.4 Newton per mm square. So the top layer should be lesser than the bottom one. As bottom value is more, it should be of more length, and this should be of less length, and join it as both are of positive, no problem. The variation will be like this. This is nothing but resultant stress distribution variation. So this ends the second problem.